YouTube, what's up? Riz here, and I got some draft coverage, post-draft coverage. We're talking who won the draft, and the best way to do that is go through this bracket. If you haven't seen the AFC first round, please check that out. I am on to the NFC first round matchups. Starting with the Cowboys versus the Giants. Who had the better draft? We're going to look at the Cowboys draft real quick. Taco Charlton in the first. Solid pick, good value pick, needed some edge rushing. They got it there. Second round, Chidobe Awuzie. I thought was a second rounder, but I thought he'd be gone by this point. So good pick. Guy can play corner, slot corner, or safety. Jordan Lewis in the third round. Second round talent, but recent off the field issues. This is kind of a big question mark here, but he's a good talent. Ryan Switzer in the fourth. I can see that him helping the team out, making an impact. I thought it was maybe a little too early though, but still a good player. Sixth round, Xavier Woods, the safety from Louisiana Tech. I thought he'd go in the fifth round. They got him in the sixth. Good pick. And then Marquez White, another guy another defensive back I thought would go in the fifth. They got him in the sixth. So there they are, building some DBs. Got quite a few of them. Joey Ivy, D-tackle from Florida, did not have a grade on him, but they took him in the seventh. Noah Brown, the wide receiver of Ohio State, in the seventh. I thought he would go fifth, so another good value pick there. And then a Colorado D-tackle, Carroll, in the seventh. Did not have a grade on him, but it is a late pick, so that's okay. On to the Giants draft. Evan Engram in the first. I can see him fitting in very well there, making an impact right away. I thought it was a little early, though. And then Dalvin Tomlinson in the second. Good talent there. That's where I expected him to go. But maybe a guy that doesn't see the field that early for a second-round pick because they already have talent on the D-line. Should get some action, though. Davis Webb in the third. I had him graded as a third-round pick, but I actually expected him in the second, so good pick. Fourth round, really like this pick. Wayne Gallman, running back Clemson. Thought he would go third and maybe even second. They have quite a few running backs there, but I think Gallman, watch out for Gallman. I don't know if he starts right away, but I think he can eventually be that guy. Paul Perkins pretty solid, but I really like Gallman. He can get some action there. Avery Moss, defensive end, Youngstown State. Off the field, slight off the field concern. I maybe expected him sixth round because of that, but a good talent in the fifth, I suppose. Adam Bisnawadi in the sixth. Wasn't really a fan of him when he was getting talk in the fourth round, but he ends up going sixth, so solid pick there. Both teams, good drafts. I thought the Cowboys got some steals and really helped their team today, so I'm going to go with the Cowboys there. On to the Redskins versus the Eagles. Starting with the Redskins. Jonathan Allen in the first round. That was a steal at the 17th pick. Second round, they got Ryan Anderson, linebacker / edge rusher, also can play middle linebacker too. So pretty much three positions he can play. Can help their team right away. Love that pick. Fabian Moreau in the third. Late first round talent, got hurt. When's he going to come back? We really don't know right now. Maybe 4 to 6 months is what I heard. But good talent. He'll eventually be maybe a starter for the Redskins near future. Samaje Perine in the fourth. Good pick. This guy he's going to get some action early on, maybe this first year. Good pick there. So through those first four picks, excellent draft so far. I didn't really like this next pick, Monte Nicholson. I thought he was more of a sixth-round safety. Could be good, though, but they took him in the fourth. Jeremy Sprinkle in the fifth. Expected him fit their sixth, so okay pick there. Rallier, center from Wyoming, in the sixth. That's where I expected him. Robert Davis in the sixth. Maybe a little bit too early, but an athletic receiver with potential. I like the Josh Harvey Clemens pick in the seventh. Guy that can play safety or linebacker. And a big guy, a guy you want to work with, so that was good. And then Hosley was their late pick. Didn't have a grade on him, but it was a late pick. So overall, good draft for the Redskins. Kind of surprising with their recent front office issues. So good pick. Really like those first four picks. The Eagles. Eagles, the hometown of the draft. Got that Fly Eagles Fly song just stuck in my head still. Really like the Derek Barnett pick. Solid player. Was my fifth overall player in the draft, so good pick. Sidney Jones was my number one corner until he got hurt, so another good pick. He's going to be good when he sees the field. Rasul Douglas in the third, another good corner. Thought he was an early third-round corner. They possibly got two near future starters and corners there. Matt Collins in the fourth. That's where I expected him to go. Maybe doesn't fit the Eagles' offense all too well, but could open things up for sure. Good player. Donnell Pumphrey in the fourth. Maybe a little early, but he really fits that offense, so he's going to end up getting some action early. He could be good. Shelton Gibson, a receiver that definitely does fit that offense. Speedy guy, shifty guy. So far, really liking that draft. But then Nathan Gary in the fifth. Thought he was 7th round drafted, so a little early there. But then they made up for it with Elijah Quells. Thought he was a 4th or 5th, probably 5th. They took him in the 6th, D tackle from Washington. So good draft. I don't know. Very, very tough to tell. This one's a toss-up. I just can't decide. I'm doing this live, obviously. I didn't previously determine who's going to win. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I don't know. They got a lot of fits. They got a lot of guys that are going to make an impact right away. I mean, so did the Redskins. But really what pops in my head when I'm trying to decide is that Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas, back-to-back, 2 corners that can play right away. If Sidney Jones is okay, he's the number 1 corner in this draft. At worst, number 2 corner in this draft. So even though I love the Redskins pick, both teams get an A for their draft. I'm going to go with the Eagles. Tough call, though. Sorry, Redskins fans. Seahawks and the Cardinals are next. Start with the Seahawks. Malik McDowell wasn't really a need, but too good to pass. Got a lot of potential. Ethan Posick in the 2nd round. Like Ethan Posick. Thought he was 3rd, and I liked Pat Elflein better than him. Very similar players, but I had a slight edge to Pat Elflein. I took Posick ahead, but shouldn't get hurt for that too much there. Fills a need. Shaq Griffin in the 3rd. Thought they took him around too early, but still a good player. And then in the 3rd, they took Delano Hill, which I thought they took a round or 2 too early. The safety from Michigan. Still a good player. You can't really go against the Seahawks when their DB choices. They must be solid. They know how to develop them. Naj Jones, D-tackle, North Carolina. Also thought that was a round too early, and they already took a defensive tackle. So I guess in their opinion, too good to pass maybe. Darboh, really like the Darboh pick. Solid receiver. I think they needed a receiver. And then I really, really like the Tedrick Thompson pick in the 4th round. Sleeper safety. He's going to be good on the Seahawks. I thought he was a 3rd round pick. Took another safety in Mike Tyson in the 6th. Thought he was a 7th undrafted. So maybe a little early there. Justin Senior, offensive line of Mississippi State. Another guy I thought was probably 7th. And then another 7th round pick. David Moore, wide receiver, East Central. Did not have a grade on him. But I really like that Chris Carson pick, Oklahoma State running back. Thought he would go 6th round. Good, tough running back. So they had in my opinion, how I look at my position grades, my prospect grades, it seems the Seahawks either got a big hit or they got a miss, in my opinion. So a lot of guys I really liked that they took, and a lot of guys I thought were too early. And they are playing the Cardinals. So let's go check out the Cardinals picks here. Hassan Reddick in the 1st round. Good pick. Could help that team out, losing some defensive players. 2nd round, really liked the Budda Baker. I had a 1st round grade. I really liked the Budda Baker pick. Chad Williams, wide receiver, Grambling. I thought this was a round or 2, probably 2 rounds early in my opinion, but could make an impact, fits with the team. Dorian Johnson, the 4th, really liked that pick. Thought he was a 2nd or 3rd rounder. They could use him early on. Will Holden in the 5th, where I expected him to go. TJ Logan in the 5th. Thought he could possibly go 4th because of his receiving ability out of the backfield is very good. One of the faster running backs. I believe he's the fastest running back in the draft, and his return game is very good as well. So I see a fit there, and he's a solid player. Then Jonathan Ford in the 6th, solid pick for the Auburn safety / corner. So overall, good draft. The Seahawks had quite a bit of hits, but they had some misses. Cardinals had a solid draft, really no misses there. Chad Williams was a little too early, but I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Think they got much better when that draft ended after that they made their picks. So I'm going to go Cardinals. Seahawks, good draft, though. Had a lot of hits. Rams versus the Niners is next. Take a look at this Rams draft. Gerald Everett was their 1st pick and was in the 2nd round. Maybe a little early, but I like Everett's playmaker ability. They needed a guy like that. 3rd round, Cooper Kupp. Some expected him 2nd round, so solid pick. John Johnson, the 3rd. I really like John Johnson. He can play safety or corner. Good pick. Josh Reynolds in the 4th. Good pick there. We're expecting him to go. 4th round, Samson Abukum. Thought he was more of a late round guy, but he is an athletic freak for a linebacker. It is a little early, but he's got a lot of upside to him. Tanzel Smart, the defensive tackle from Tulane. I really like this pick in the 6th round. Thought he would go 5th, and if not 5th, I would have guessed maybe 4th. So they got him in the 6th. 6th round pick, Sam Rogers. Not really a reach, but I had Freddie Stevenson as my number 1 fullback, and they took him over Stevenson. 7th round, Ewan Price, edge rusher from Pittsburgh. Really liked this pick. Expected him 5th. possibly even 4th. They took him in the 7th. So good pick for the Rams there. So maybe they had a guy or two a little early, but other than that, they got some good picks there. The Niners. Niners. They had a great draft. I already know that. But let me take another look at it. Solomon Thomas, 3rd overall. Was my 8th best player in the draft. But I wouldn't say it's a reach. It's a good player. 31st overall. Reuben Foster was my 6th best player in the draft. They took him 31st. Really like that pick. Excellent pick. Akello Witherspoon, one of my guys. Good corner. Good long corner. Knows how to play the ball. Led the nation in pass deflections. Excellent pick in the 3rd round. And now on to arguably the worst pick in the draft. They traded up for C.J. Beathard, the quarterback from Iowa. I had him 7th round undrafted when experts were even talking about him like 6th round at one point. I thought that it was mind-blowing to me, and they took him in the 3rd. I absolutely hate that pick. I don't know. Such a good draft leading up to that point. And let's move on. Joe Williams in the 4th. A lot of upside to Joe Williams. Does come with a wrist, though. Retired from football at one point, so how's his love for the game? Is he going to stay around for a while? We'll see. He is an excellent athlete. George Kittle in the 5th. That's a good pick. One of the better blocking tight ends in this draft, and is pretty athletic for a blocking tight end. Great pick. 5th round, Trent Taylor. Thought it was a round early, but a shifty receiver. 6th round, DJ Jones. The tackle Ole Miss. Expected him maybe 5th round, so good pick. And then the outside linebacker from Utah, who I did not have a grade on, went in the 6th. So this is very tough. I thought the Rams and the Niners both had a good draft. This is very tough to decide. When you look at the first 3 Niners picks, it looked like they're about to have a great draft, and after that, it kind of takes a little bit of a fall. It's very tough. I don't know. I really like the Rams draft. They didn't have a first rounder, so they're kind of under the radar. I think obviously the Niners top of the draft will make more of an impact, but I'm valuing the entire draft, the bottom as much as the top. Looking for good value picks, and the Rams got some good value picks. So I'm going to go with the Rams. Kind of a shocker there. I do really like the Reuben Foster pick a lot, but I'm going with the Rams. They filled a lot of needs, got some good players. Packers, Lions. Starting with the Packers. Kevin King, good pick. I may have had a corner or two rated better than him, but he's a good player in that 2nd round range and fills a big need. Josh Jones, really like that pick. NC State safety can make an impact right away. Montravius Adams, big time steal. Thought for sure 2nd round lock. Another guy that can make an impact right away. So looking at those first 3 picks, Packers are up there. Winning the draft possibly. But then 4th round, Vince Beagle, I did not like that pick. I thought he was more of a 6th rounder. They took him in I think it was the first pick in the 4th round too, so I didn't really like that pick. Jamal Williams in the 4th, I like that. I believe I had him mocked there at one point, or in the Packers mock draft possibly, a big running back. They were in the market for another bigger running back. So really like that pick. But then back to a pick I didn't like. His next, D'Angelo Yancey in the 5th. I thought he was a 7th undrafted, so I didn't really like that pick. 5th round, Aaron Jones, another running back, but I like him. I like his receiving ability. Good pick there. Michia, offensive lineman from South Florida, did not have a grade on him. And they took a 3rd running back, Devontae Mays, another guy I thought was undrafted. So a couple picks that were off there, but then maybe the steal of the draft in the 7th round, Malachi Dupree. I had a 3rd round grade on him. He went 7th, so absolute steal. I'm confused on I was confused when they took Yancey over him in the 5th round. So the Packers had a lot of hits, filled some needs, but then they had a lot of misses in my opinion too. I don't know if they really need 3 running backs and a couple guys that I didn't have grades on or were too early. I thought they were playing the Lions. Lions took Jared Davis, big need, fills a big need, good player, good leader. Also took another Florida guy, Tease Tabor in the 2nd. Could eventually play with alongside Darius Slay, good player. Kenny Galladay in the 3rd was one of my sleeper guys. I thought somebody was going to steal him day 3, but somebody actually took him day 2. I don't think it's a bad pick. I really like him. His potential needs some work though. Solid pick, I guess. I maybe a little early. Jalen Reeves-Maybin comes with some risk with his past injuries, but they take him in the 4th. And when they needed a linebacker help, and that's a linebacker. Michael Roberts in the 4th. Thought maybe a 5th round, but is a solid player. Can block for a guy that can also get touchdowns. Jamal Agnew in the 5th. The corner from San Diego, did not have a grade on him. He went in the 5th. So I'm not sure about that one. Ledbetter, defense tackle, Arkansas. I expect him to go in the 6th. That's where he went. Brad Kaya, 6th-round pick. Kind of a shocker. I expected him 3rd or 4th. They get him in the 6th. Is he going to get action? Probably not unless Stafford gets hurt, but good pick. Then they took a 7th-round pick that I did not have a grade on in O'Connor. Overall, good draft. It's very tough to decide. I think the Packers, both teams strong parts of their draft for their first 3 picks. I think the Packers got better players, and if you combine the first 3 picks and filled the big needs that they need to make that next step to the Super Bowl. Even though Lions got Brad Kaya, I'm gonna go with the Packers, but both pretty solid drafts. Vikings and the Bears. Starting with the Vikings, Dalvin Cook was their first pick. My opinion, maybe the best pick in the draft was my 9th overall player, instant impact running back. They took him 41st overall when they needed a running back, so excellent pick. Pat Elflein in the 3rd round fills a huge need. I expect him to go around that area. Good pick. Jaleel Johnson, 4th round D tackle. Expected him 3rd or 4th. They got him in the 4th. Ben Gideon. Now this one was a reach for me. I had him more as a 5th, probably a 6th as a special teamer. They take him a 4th. They see something in him. They did need another linebacker, so maybe he plays early. Rodney Adams in the 5th, wide receiver from South Florida. Now this is about as close as you're going to get to a Cordero Patterson clone. They lost Patterson, so there's your replacement. Maybe a better route runner than Patterson, but maybe not as shifty and maybe a little less speed, even though he's fast. Not as elusive maybe, but he's up there. Very, very similar to Cordero Patterson. 5th round, Danny Isidora. Like this pick. I thought he was a 3rd or 4th round. I thought he was an option for the Vikings in 3rd or 4th round since they were in the market for an offensive lineman. They get him in the 5th. Could see playing time early in his career. Bucky Hodges in the 6th. Talking about Dalvin Cook being a complete steal. Bucky Hodges was my 4th ranked tight end. Did not think he would get out of day 2 at all, and they get him in the 6th round. Weakness is blocking, but I think he dropped. I heard there was some off-the-field concern, so that's why he dropped. But definite red zone, goal line threat. So I know the Vikings like throwing to Kyle Rudolph in the red zone, so Hodges and Rudolph could be pretty good. So absolute steal in my opinion. Stacy Coley, wide receiver of Miami. Expected him 6th round. He went in the 7th. Reason is I expect him in the 6th is because he can play slot and wide out. You don't really see that in too many guys. Good player, good potential, I should say. Another guy with good potential they took in the 7th, Odin Igbo, the Northwestern D-end. He didn't really start in his time in Northwestern. 5 games, I believe. He got a lot of snaps, obviously, but starting 5 games and getting 10 sacks tells me this guy has some potential. So good pick in the 7th round. Another 7th round pick, Elijah Lee, outside linebacker, Kansas State. I actually had him mocked to the Vikings in the Vikings mock in the 4th round. I thought he was a 4th or 5th round linebacker. I thought he fit their defense well. They got him in the 7th, so another steal there. And Jack Tocho, defensive back from NC State in the late 7th, kind of expected him around that area. So overall, solid draft for the Vikings. Got a couple steals. I really like that draft, actually. On to the Bears. I already know it's probably my least favorite draft out of all of them. Not really the fact of taking Trubisky, but the fact of trading up 1 spot, giving away picks and a future pick when they needed more picks. They're picking 3rd for a reason. You need more picks. So I don't really like that pick. I think if you take them that early, you have to start them now. I just have a feeling they're going to go with Glennon, so questionable. 2nd round, Adam Shaheen. I had a 4th round grade on him. He went 2nd, so another reach there for the Bears. I did like the Eddie Jackson pick, 4th round guy. I thought he was a 2nd, maybe 3rd round talent if he didn't break his leg during the year. But excellent coverage skills. It was a solid 4th round pick. And they took Tariq Cohen. I had a 6th to 7th round grade on him, the running back from North Carolina A&T. But my big problem with this pick is in the 4th round in this deep draft class, and you're the Bears, you're one of the worst teams this past year, you need starters. And you know in your head you're drafting a backup here. You're not even going for a guy like Eddie Jackson in the 4th round. That could potentially be a starter. They needed DBs. So why not go get another guy that could potentially be a starter? Jordan Howard's going to start at running back, so that was a questionable pick. Jordan Morgan was a solid pick, expected him round 5. Comes with some risk, though. Small school guy, kind of hard to evaluate those guys. But overall, I did not really like this draft. Eddie Jackson and Morgan were the only ones that were considered okay or good. Other than that, really the thing I hate is they weren't really they didn't get better today. They didn't. Not any of these guys gonna like play. The one that I see that's gonna play that's gonna make the most impact if Trubisky doesn't start. I don't think he will right away. Is Eddie Jackson because they needed DBs. Maybe if they cut Zach Miller, then Adam Shaheen plays. But I don't think the Bears got better today, and I think most of these teams did. So obvious winner here in the Vikings. On to the next matchup, Falcons and the Buccaneers. Falcons took Takk McKinley in the first. Solid pick, expecting him to go in that range. Duke Riley in the third, another linebacker with rare talents. Expected him in the third round, good pick. Sean Harlow in the fourth. Did not like this pick. Thought he was like a sixth rounder, maybe even the seventh. They took him in the fourth. DeMonte Kazi in the fifth. This was a good pick. Thought maybe fourth or fifth. Brian Hill in the fifth. Big running back, can make an impact if somebody gets hurt, but I mean, that's a hell of a third string running back. I mean, it wasn't really a need, but for value, solid pick. Eric Saubert, tight end from Drake in the fifth, I thought was more of a seventh round pick. So they had some hits here, but I think they had some reaches as well. And they're taking on the Bucks. Take a look at this Bucks draft. O.J. Howard in the first. Was surprised they passed on Dalvin Cook, but I mean, with O.J. Howard, that's pretty much a good value pick as well because we expected him to go earlier. Him and Cameron Brate was a good tight end duo. Justin Evans in the second. Solid pick, needed a safety. Third round, Chris Godwin. Expected him early third. They got a mid-third, and there was some slight chance he'd go second, so it's a good pick. Kendall Beckwith in the third. Thought he was more of a fourth-round player, but he's a good player. Jeremy McNichols in the fifth was a steal. Doug Martin, Boise State running back. He had another one in McNichols. McNichols was a definite sleeper because I think he led all running backs in touchdowns, so we know he can run hard on the goal line in between the tackles, and he had a good amount of receiving yards, was an excellent receiving back. I think he's one of those guys that really carried his team in college. Really, teams had to game plan on him, and he still did well. So fifth round is a pretty good steal, in my opinion. Good pick. This guy can get some action right away. And then the D tackle from USC in the seventh round has a pretty solid pick, expecting him sixth or seventh round. So good draft for the Bucks. Falcons had hits and misses. I thought overall Bucks did a great job. I'm going the Bucks here. Good draft. Saints and the Panthers is the last first round NFC matchup, starting with the Saints. Latimer, first round. Did not expect him at 11, even though I thought that should have been more of his range. My 13th overall player. Overall, good pick. Fills a huge need. Ryan Ramczyk. Expected him to go with another defensive player, but if Ramczyk's okay medically, then that's a good pick. Good offensive lineman. Second round pick, Marcus Williams, my third ranked safety. So just an excellent pick here in the second round. Great pick. And then arguably the steal of the draft, Alvin Kamara in the third round. My 16th overall player. He's a solid running back, can break tackles. I heard Mel Kiper saying when he got drafted, didn't like him the way he tries to break tackles. He couldn't break tackles, basically what he was saying. I thought that was completely false. Playing in the SEC, I've seen him break so many tackles for more of a shifty receiving running back. I think he can do it all. That's an excellent pick. Is he going to get playing time? That's the question. He should, but probably the third string running back to start. So looking at that so far, Saints with an excellent draft, but then Anzalone in the third. I thought he was more of a fourth or fifth rounder because of injury. I feel like he may just keep getting hurt. I hate saying that, but third round talent for sure, but injuries keep sneaking up on him. Trey Hendrickson I thought was more of a fourth rounder. They took him in the third. Muhammad in the sixth. Thought he was a sixth or seventh. So first part of the draft was just excellent. Last part, nothing too special, but overall good draft. And then we take a look at the Panthers. Take McCaffrey in the first. I thought it was too early, but what he can do could help the team for sure. But as eighth overall, it's in my opinion that's a little early. Can he carry the load every week? We'll see. Round two, Curtis Samuel. Now he's a very similar player to McCaffrey, but I guess McCaffrey's more of a running back. Samuel's more of a receiver. He definitely helps the team, but I didn't really like how they were very similar players. But I mean, overall, good player, good pick because he's a good player. Taylor Moton in the second. That's a solid pick. Need offensive line help. Deshaun Hall in the third. I expected him 4 or 5, so a little early. Corn Elder in the 5th. That's where I expected him. I actually had a comparison on him to Captain Munnerlyn, who the Panthers got back in the offseason. So very similar player, younger version. 6th round, Alex Arma, West Georgia DN. Did not have a grade on him. And then I took the Georgia Tech kicker in the 7th. I did not have him ranked. I only had 3 kickers ranked. Arizona State, Memphis, and Stanford kicker. So a couple questionable picks, but definitely helped their team earlier in this draft. I'm going to go with the Saints. Saints got a couple of really, really good steals. So there you have it. There's your first round NFC matchups and winners. We'll keep going with this bracket throughout the week. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Goodbye.